Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. We are here each and every morning as we approach our 1-year anniversary, and we are inching ever so closer to the 2 millionth listen of the Daily Juice Podcast here on BettingPros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. You guys know about the offer, which on YouTube is right above me here with a $20 wager. To win $100 on any event, use that promo code JUICE100 when you sign up for a new account and you get that offer. $20, you automatically win regardless of the wager. If you put it on the on the parlay last night, the LA Clippers won. But in the Discord channel, I was telling you, hey guys, you really should think about going ahead and taking the Clippers because the hockey games were both going to go under. And so if Luka and company lost, you would have been able to make your wager back and you would have been flat if you did indeed bet the parlay. So that probably would have happened. The Red Sox, good news, Red Sox get the win. That was nice at minus 105, so that's good to get a victory. And then I don't know what went on for Vegas as it's getting kind of late here in Vegas, so I had to tape the podcast and get it up. I got stuff I got to do. We're having a end-of-year party tomorrow at my house. Dave Sherapan is coming with his youngest, so we'll hang out with Dave a little bit, and a bunch of kiddos are coming over. I think we got 10 kids coming to hang out and celebrate the summer and kind of celebrate the end of COVID and whatnot. So I got a lot of work to do to get the house ready and help my wife out, so I got to get this thing logged and posted before I really get really tired. So that's why it's 2-1 Colorado right now. If that score holds and the Avalanche win, I will be very depressed, and I will not bet against a Denver team for the rest of the playoffs. I won't do it. I won't bet against the Avalanche, and I won't bet against the Denver Nuggets. I will have lost 3 consecutive bets betting against Denver. It'll be 4 because they'll knock out the Vegas Golden Knights, so Vegas won't win the Stanley Cup playoffs. It'll be 3-0, and it's over. If Denver wins this, if the Avalanche win this, it's over. So it's been rough. The under has been the play here in this series, and I probably should have just taken the under, but I thought Vegas would win, and man, I mean, Colorado just is really, really good. Grubauer is really, really good. He's really tough to score on, and just frankly, Vegas can't figure him out. And I don't see anybody in the NHL right now that can beat Colorado. I really don't. I'm watching these playoffs. I'm watching Winnipeg and Montreal. Give me a break. I mean, that's going to be 4 games, 5 games. I don't care who comes out of there. Montreal's getting waxed or Winnipeg's getting crushed. I mean, just not even close. I think Tampa versus Colorado will be the most entertaining. Carolina, maybe. The Bruins in Colorado, the Bruins versus the Avalanche would be the most interesting because they're totally different. So that would be the one contrast in styles. I would love to see that happen if it did go down that road, but I think Tampa would probably beat Boston. We'll see what happens in that game coming up tonight. I don't have a play with Tampa and Carolina coming up today, but I do have a Belmont Stakes pick to give you. I do have a baseball pick to give you. I do have a basketball play to give you and a hockey play to give you coming up here today. I'll tell you here, and we can start with hockey. I will have a personal play on the Boston Bruins to win today, okay? But the number is 5. So I don't need to explain myself. I'm going to keep on doing this. This is my own personal philosophy that when the books are putting up 5, we're firing. I know it did not hit the last game, okay? But look, it's 2-1 to the over right now in this series. They're coming back with a 5 again, and I think I really do believe that New York has to open it up. I think they've got to play more wide open. They got to take advantage of scoring opportunities. I know they would rather play tight, but so does Boston. Boston wants to play tight. I don't think they can beat Boston. I think Boston's better at that than the Islanders are. They got to open it up. It's a Saturday game. I think there's a chance here for both teams to get some offense going, scoring going. So I think it's a 3-2 win, maybe a 4-2 win with an empty netter, or maybe we get in kind of a crazy 3-3 type of scenario where it's more high scoring like the Pittsburgh and New York series was. But I'm going to take Islanders Bruins over 5 minus 120. It's a philosophy. It's a strategy. It has paid off. It's been successful. I know we missed it the last time. We might miss it again, but we're 2-1 so far. I'm coming back and I'm firing on it again. Over 5, Bruins and the Islanders, minus 120. I do think Boston wins. I'm going to take the Bruins, but I could easily see a play on the Islanders as well. This is kind of like a personal, like I want the Bruins to win type of thing. But I think Boston's just a better team. So I think Boston wins. I think Boston takes it, and so I'm taking the Bruins here. But the bet officially for the podcast is over 5 at minus 120. Okay, so let's go into the let's do basketball. Let's do Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Okay, the total is 239 and a half is the total. Brooklyn is favored by 3.5. I don't know where I want to go with this because I think Milwaukee's being underappreciated here. I think Milwaukee's going to be in this series. I think Milwaukee could beat Brooklyn. I really do. I don't know. I have not made up my mind yet as to who comes out of this series. However, I do think this is going to be an extremely high-scoring game number one. So Milwaukee is 43-32-1 to the over. Brooklyn 43-34 to the over. Over the last 5, both teams are 3-2. Both teams are 6-4. Milwaukee on the road this year, 20-17-1 to the over. Brooklyn at home this year, 21-18 to the over. The first game of the year when they played and everyone was available, that back on the 18th of January, the total was 239.5, and it went over by 8.5 points. That's what I'm expecting here today, like a 125-123 game that Brooklyn won. I'm expecting that type of game here today. Now, they played 2 times later in the year when everybody was banged up and it wasn't the full complement of Brooklyn net players, and both games went under on the road in Milwaukee. 242.5 went under by 11.5, and 243 went under by 1. So we're sitting here with 239.5. I feel comfortable taking the over here in game number 1, and I think we're going to see a lot of scoring. Both teams trying to show, it's before the series gets really into it and they lock down defensively and they get to know what other teams are going to want to try to do to each other with matchups and whatnot. I just think we're going to see a really high-scoring game, real up-tempo, back-and-forth battle. I don't think the books can really set a line high enough. I mean, this line probably should be 250, but the books aren't going to do it. They're going to set a line at 250. It's under 240. Pretty much, if these lines get set under 240 in any game in this series, I'm going to bet the over, regardless of how the trends are looking. I just think these teams have too much firepower. Brooklyn doesn't play defense. As we know, they just don't play defense. So they give up so many points, and I think for that reason, I just think Milwaukee is going to be able to score a lot here. Milwaukee, the number 1 scoring offense in the NBA at 120 points per game. Brooklyn, the number 2 scoring offense at 118.9 points per game. Brooklyn gives up 113.9. Milwaukee gives up 113.4. This is number 21 and number 22 for defense and average opponent scoring margin. They just give up a lot of points. They score a lot, and they give up a lot. Let's not overthink it. It'll be a public play. Everybody will be on it. Over 239.5 for Milwaukee and Brooklyn. All right, let's get to the baseball game. And again, this is another bet where I'm not going to overthink this all that much. So the Chicago White Sox are 33-23 on the run line so far this season. That's a 58.9% clip. They are facing a left-handed pitcher. You guys know what happens when a left-handed pitcher is going to be going for a team. The White Sox are playing at home against the Detroit Tigers, okay? This is an interesting thing because I've been talking to a bunch of people about when to bet run lines, and betting run lines for the road team is always better because you're guaranteed to bat in the 9th inning where the home team might not have to bat. So there's always a little bit of a scare now, and that's why the prices are a little bit different. But for this one, the White Sox are at home. Some dude named Scoble is pitching for Detroit. He's 2-7 with a 4.59 ERA. Giolito's going for the White Sox. He's 5-4 with a 3.73 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. Detroit's a bad team, man. They're 23-33. They are 10-18 on the road. And when you look at the way this team for the White Sox, the way they hit lefties, it's just they tee off. They just absolutely tee off on left-handed pitching, and we've talked about it a lot, and we've looked at this, and I just think the White Sox are going to win this game, and they're going to win this game going away. I don't know how many runs Detroit scores. That's why I bet the over. It's 8. I can't do it. I got the run line on minus 114. This is kind of breaking one of my rules, though, because I don't like betting and laying juice on the run line. I don't like that. However, in Detroit situation with a bad starting pitcher going, and you might go, why don't you bet the first 5? Again, I kind of want the full complement here. Let this offense get out there. It could be like a 3-2 lead after 5, and then they get an insurance run late and they get to the run line. So I will include bullpens here because Detroit's bullpen is bad. So I'm going to include the White Sox with the full game. We're going run line, -114, White Sox against a left-handed pitcher in the Detroit Tigers. Hopefully it's an easy walk-in-the-park victory for Chicago here today up against Detroit. All right, so those are the 3 half-unit plays. I have a $24 bet for you in the Belmont Stakes. All right, so I hit the trifecta in the Preakness. I missed on the trifecta for the Derby. Here is a big caveat. You want to be in the Discord channel for a variety of reasons. However, but I got info before the Preakness. I got great info before I went to the counter. And I took a picture of my exacta bet. I took a picture of both my trifecta bets. And I showed you guys what I was told to bet. And so the bet on the podcast didn't hit. But the bets that I had and I was told the morning of, those all did hit. And so I went, I was down... What was I down? I think I was down $54 after the Derby, and I won $260 on the Preakness. Okay? So I am up here for my Triple Crown races. So I'm betting with house money here, but just bettingpros.com/chat, bettingpros.com/chat. Definitely be in the Discord channel. If you're on YouTube, that link is right underneath me right here. You can click on it, get into the Discord channel, and you can find, I'll post my tickets once I go to the book this morning, and I'll show you what I am betting for the Belmont Stakes here today, okay? So this is what I am betting. I am betting a $1 trifecta box for 4 horses, which is $24, all right? 24 different bets for $1 each for a trifecta. I am putting Essential Quality, the number 2 horse, in this. Okay, this horse skipped the Preakness, had a bad run at the Derby. It was one of the favorites to win the Derby. Bad run, bounces back here, has a good run here for the Belmont. Rombauer won the Preakness. It was supposed to win this race. Rombauer, new jockey, but they got a Hall of Fame jockey in John Velasquez because the jockey that rode for the Preakness said that they were going to ride Hot Rod Charlie, which is also in this box. Hot Rod Charlie, 7-2 opening line. So 2-1 for Essential Quality, 3-1 for Rombauer, 7-2 morning line for Hot Rod Charlie. And Flavin Pratt will be on this ride for this horse, and he's trying to become the first jockey to take 2 different horses and win 2 different Triple Crown races in the same year. Be the first time ever to do that. Hot Rod Charlie. And the final horse, we're taking the 7-horse Rock Your World, who is a horse that won the Santa Anita Derby, won it handily, set 9-2 the morning line, and Joel Rosario is going to be riding this. It's a real fast horse that could get to the lead. And much like we saw with Medina Spirit, Rock Your World might get out there and just run and just be out there the whole entire time to get the lead early and keep the lead. It's a smaller field. It's a longer race than any other, all right? So I'm taking 4 horses, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 7 horse. We're boxing them, trifecta box. So any order of those 4 horses coming in 1, 2, 3, and we win. Trifecta box, $1 trifecta box, 4 horses, $24 bet at the Belmont Stakes for the Triple Crown, all right? So let's recap the bets coming up here for a Saturday. We are going with the Bruins, Islanders, over 5 at -120. We're going over 239.5, Brooklyn and the Bucks at -110. We are going and taking the White Sox on the run line against the Detroit Tigers at -114. And we're taking a trifecta box, the 2, 3, 4, and 7 horses at the Belmont Stakes, $1 bet each for a $24 bet going into that Triple Crown race. Nothing on the MMA world tonight. I'm not really interested. I'm not betting anything with the boxing match, if you want to call it that, between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. not really going to pay attention to it, to be quite honest. It's just, I think everybody expects a pretty embarrassing time. If you were going to buy that fight, I think you're going to be mad about that, but to each its own. I think pretty much you're going to see a master's class in how to school and embarrass a kid, but you never know. Maybe Floyd gets clipped. It's boxing, so we'll see what happens. But pretty much Logan is the tune-up, because I think eventually Logan Paul is going to step aside and Jake Paul will wind up fighting after he fights Woodley. If he beats Woodley, which he might, if he beats Tyron Woodley, it'll be Jake Paul against Floyd Mayweather. I don't know, maybe that gets more attention, but no one's going to sanction a fight where one fighter is giving up 40 pounds professionally. Exhibition, fine. Professionally, no one's going to do that. So we'll see what happens. Let's get back on the horse here. Let's see how we do it. We were very light on Friday, most likely a 1-1 mark for us on Friday, so a flat day, but a day to recoup and get our minds right, and now come back here, hopefully having a very good Saturday for us. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It's the Daily Juice Podcast right here on BettingPros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.